Surah Al-Mujadilah. Surah Al-Mujadilah consists of 22 verses, including the Madaniyyah surah group, revealed after Surah Al Munafiqun. This chapter is called Al-Mujadilah, meaning the woman who filed the lawsuit, because at the beginning of this chapter, it is stated that a woman, according to history named Khaulah bint Tsa'labah, responded to her husband's attitude towards zhihar. This matter was reported to the Prophet, peace be upon him, and he demanded that he give a fair decision in the matter. It is also called Al-Mujadilah, which means debate. The main contents of Surah Al-Mujadilah, the law of zihar. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Mujadilah verses 1 to 4. These verses explain the law of zihar, namely the practice where a person considers his wife to be his mother, which is declared as an evil word and a lie. Allah emphasizes that a person's wife is not his mother, and those who perform zihar must free a slave before the two have sex. If you cannot afford it, you must fast for 2 consecutive months or feed 60 poor people. This was determined so that people would believe in Allah and His Messenger, with the threat of a painful punishment for those who disbelieved. Consequences of defying Allah and His Messenger. It is stated in Surah Al-Mujadilah verses 5 to 7. Those who oppose Allah and His Messenger will be humiliated like those before them, because Allah has sent down clear evidence, and the disbelievers will suffer a humiliating punishment. On the day of resurrection, Allah will resurrect everyone and tell them what they have done, even though they have forgotten it, because Allah is the witness of everything and knows everything in the heavens and the earth, even the secrets between humans. Nothing is hidden from Allah, and He will reveal their deeds on the day of resurrection, because Allah is all-knowing of everything. Condemnation of secret negotiations hostile to Islam. It is mentioned in Surah Al Mujadilah verses 8 to 10. These verses emphasize the prohibition on people who hold secret discussions from committing sin, enmity, and disobedience to the Messenger. Those who violate this prohibition will go to hell, a very bad place to return to. Believers are asked not to talk about sin, enmity, and disobedience to the Messenger in secret conversations, but to talk about virtue and piety and fear of Allah. Negative secret talk only comes from Satan and aims to cause sadness for believers, but will not bring harm except with Allah's permission. Therefore, believers must trust only in Allah. Procedures in trials and meetings. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Mujadilah verse 11. This verse calls on believers to make room in assemblies if asked, and to stand up if asked, because Allah will provide space for them. Allah will elevate those who believe among them and those who are given knowledge by several degrees, because Allah is most accurate in all the deeds they do. Manners of facing the Prophet. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Mujadilah verses 12 to 13. These verses call on believers that if they want to have secret talks with the Messenger, they should give alms to the poor beforehand, because that is better and cleaner. If you are unable to give alms, Allah is forgiving and most merciful. If you are afraid of becoming poor because of giving alms, it is advisable to keep praying, pay zakat, and obey Allah and His Messenger, because Allah is most meticulous about the actions you do. Prohibition of being close friends with people who are hostile to Islam. It is mentioned in Surah Al-Mujadilah verses 14 to 19. These verses describe the behavior of hypocrites who take people who are angry with Allah as friends, swear falsely as a form of disguise of faith, but in fact they know the real situation. They will suffer a harsh punishment because of the bad deeds they committed, such as blocking people from the path of Allah with their false oaths. Their possessions and children will be useless before the punishment of Allah, and they will be residents of eternal hell in it. On the day of resurrection, they will swear falsely to Allah as they swear to other people, but they are liars who are controlled by Satan and forget the importance of remembering Allah, so they will be among the losers. The attitude of unbelievers towards the enemies of Islam. It is stated in Surah Al Mujadilah verses 20 to 22. Those who oppose Allah and His Messenger are very despicable people, but Allah and His Messenger will definitely win because Allah is all-strong, almighty. There will be no group of believers in Allah in the last day who will have compassion with those who oppose Allah and His Messenger, because they have established faith in their hearts by Allah and are strengthened by His help. They will enter paradise with rivers flowing beneath them, will remain eternal therein, and will receive Allah's pleasure, and they will feel pleased with Him, so that they will be among Allah's lucky ones. Conclusion of Surah Al Mujadilah. This chapter explains zihar and its laws, as well as the prohibition against making unbelievers your close friends, in addition to discussing several aspects of good manners. In a legal context, this chapter outlines the sanctions for people who perform zihar if they go back on their words, and emphasizes the prohibition against making friends of Allah's enemies. Apart from that, this chapter also emphasizes the importance of maintaining good manners in meetings and showing proper politeness towards the Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him.